Thanks for the introduction, Steve. I'm here to introduce you to Shoe Size Me. And introducing you to Shoe Size Me, I would like to introduce you to this guy. Let's just call him Jack Shoeless. He was invited to speak at the Live Conference 2016 in Geneva about his startup, and now he realizes he doesn't have the right pair of shoes to go on stage. He's thinking about how to get to wear a black pair of business shoes as soon as possible. All along the way to finally get to wear this pair of shoes, he encounters a lot of situations where he needs to take a decision. The first one probably being, should I drive to town and just check out some shoe stores, or should I just Google black business shoe and see what pops up? He decides for the second. He doesn't have a lot of time, and shopping is not his favorite hobby anyway. He comes across the web shop of a pretty famous shoe retailer in Switzerland called Vögeli Shoes. He sees this black pair of business shoes. The price seems okay. Since he works for a startup, he's literally on a shoestring budget. So everything is fine until he comes to the point of selecting the size. How come making one click can be so difficult? I would like to quickly outline this topic and introduce you into the world of the shoe sizing chaos. We like to talk about the shoe sizing chaos at Shoe Size Me because this topic seems more complex than you might think. First of all, different countries use different sizing systems. We are probably all familiar with UK sizing. We know that there is a US female and a US male size. But did you know that the EU size can be produced according to a Parisian stitch or an Italian stitch, and the sole length is different? I didn't. Second, every brand has its own interpretation of shoe sizing. A US female 9 corresponds to a size 41 1/3 for Adidas, but it corresponds to a size 40.5 for Nike. And last but not least, if we take 5 pair of shoes from the same brand, they don't fit the same. So how should a customer, who during his digital experience where he's not able to touch the product or to try it on, how should he be able to determine his precise shoe size? It has 2 implications for the shoe industry, in the shoe e-commerce especially. And the first one is that only 8% of the people actually buy shoes online. And the second one is that if they buy, they return up to 50% of their purchases. I think these numbers show that there is a need to act and there is a need to assist the customer during his journey. And this is why Shoe Size Me came into life. Shoe Size Me is this little button that says what size fits me right below the size selection. Jack is pretty happy to see that he can ask for a size advice, so he clicks on it, and he's asked to enter one shoe that he already wears and that fits perfectly. So all he needs to tell us is his gender, the brand of the shoe, the category of the shoe, if possible the model name, and of course the size in which he wears it. He clicks on Find My Size, and we recommend him the right size to buy for this specific black business shoe. How are we able to recommend this size? We gather information through various channels about what people wear, like what kind of shoes people wear in what sizes. So thanks to previous customers who have already bought this shoe and have also bought his reference shoe, we are able to recommend him this size. You can think of Shoe Size Me as a possibility for a shoe brand or a shoe retailer to offer their customers exactly the same service like they are used to from the physical store. Imagine a sales assistant approaching you, asking if she might be of help. What size do you usually wear? How does the shoe feel like? We try, and she knows exactly how all the shoes fit, the ones that she's selling, because she experienced on a daily basis that people come in and say, I know for this one I need a size 40, which is maybe surprising. Anyway, she has a big knowledge, and Shoe Size Me tries to digitalize this human knowledge and reproduce it also for the digital customer experience. So by providing the customer with and facilitating his decision-making at this specific point of selecting the size, we increase his purchase security, and we have proven to increase the conversion rate of the shops, and at the same time, of course, lower the return rates, because we solve the pain of the customer that he has to order 3 sizes, return 2 of them, and the company covers for the costs. This is the topic, or the question, if a great digital customer experience can secure sales. So yes, ShoeSizeMe, for example, can. But can a great digital customer experience go even beyond that and empower the customers? I would like to take you one step further in the development of ShoeSizeMe as well and show you a feature that we are currently developing. Imagine you enter a web shop, and with one click, only shoes are displayed that are currently available in your size and that you probably like. So only the shoes that are relevant for you. And I think this is customer empowerment. You give the customer a tool to tailor his experience with your shoe brand to his specific needs and desires. And I think this is also where the digital customer experience becomes even more powerful, because in a physical store, I have never experienced that I only see shoes that fit me. To sum it up, I would like to answer the question how we bridge the gap between the shoe industry and its customers' needs. So what ShoeSizeMe does is we collect the data, unexploited data and mostly unstructured data from our partners that are shoe brands and shoe retailers. We collect this data and we structure it and combine it in such a way in our centralized database that we can give the customer an exact and precise shoe size recommendation. So this is where the customer empowerment happens. But at the same time, we also learn from our users, and we enrich our database with the user data, and we are able to give back business intelligence services to our partners, like data that they can use for the production of their shoes, data that they can use for the assortment planning if they are a retailer, because they know that the Nike 42 is never ordered because it actually feels like 45. All these kind of things. And yeah, this is how we close the circle, and ShoeSizeMe literally functions as a data bridge. Now, even though I used the symbol for infinity, I'm not going to talk forever, but I will stop here, and I hope I could give you a nice insight in how the digital customer experience can be improved nowadays for one specific industry. Thanks a lot for your attention.
Thank you, Nadina. It meets the criteria of a great idea, because we're all sitting here thinking, why did nobody do this before, right? How did it start? Who came up with the idea? Where did it first, the founder, how did this idea come to be?
So one of the founders used to work in a sports shop, and they would sell customized ski boots. So the inside of a ski boot, which is usually flexible or soft, they would scan the customer feet and the calves up to here, and then produce the inside, the soft shell, accordingly. However, they realized that still a lot of customers complained that the ski boots didn't feel right, because they wear most of people wear very thick socks when they go skiing. So they didn't take this into account. And one of the founders thought, okay, we could actually do the same thing for the shoe e-commerce in general. And we started off scanning feet and scanning shoes until we realized, no, there is a lot of subjectivity to this topic. Some people like to wear the shoes very tightly, others like to wear them a bit loose. Then there is this topic of the socks, what kind of socks they wear. So we came up with this approach that we just base our recommendation on a reference shoe. And thanks to our database, we know how this shoe behaves compared to another one.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's fascinating that almost the more sexy solution of the scanning and the high-tech solution ended up providing an experience that wasn't as good as kind of the harder back-end system of working with data and crunching numbers, right?
Yeah. And I think so this scanning technology seems also very appealing to use it, in the stores, in the physical stores. So you would scan the feet, but so there is this doesn't match the equation. There is some pieces are missing to get to a nice size recommendation.
Shoe Size Me has obviously had a lot of success. What have been some of the harder points along the way?
Yeah, good question. Well, I think what's the hardest is to keep, and we are here to discuss innovation. So I think we currently have to innovate ourselves and to think about possibilities where we can go even further. This entire topic of business intelligence, it becomes very important because we have a lot of customers asking us for sizing information that they can use to improve their entire supply chain, their entire business. So we are kind of discovering new fields, and we have to go with the flow and innovate ourselves on a daily basis.
As a Swiss success story, is there anything based in Switzerland that is a help or a hindrance to the success of the company?
Well, I think when it comes to fundraising, it's a great location, but we also opened a second office in Barcelona, where most of the team is working. It's a great hub for technology, and it's very easy to get great talent also. I think Barcelona is more attractive to work than St. Gallen, so we moved there. Well, we still have both locations, but
all right.
yeah.
Thank you, Nadina. Thank you very much.